The Vympel NPO R-77 missile is a Russian medium-range, active radar homing air-to-air missile system. It is also known by its export model designation RVV-AE. It is the Russian counterpart to the American AIM-120 AMRAAM missile. Development work on the R-77 began in 1982. It represented Russia's first multi-purpose missile for both tactical and strategic aircraft for fire and forget use, against a range of aircraft from hovering helicopters to high-speed, low-altitude aircraft. Gennady Sokolovsky, general designer of the Vympel Design Bureau, said that the R-77 missile can be used against medium and long-range air-to-air missiles such as the AIM-120 AMRAAM and AIM-54 Phoenix, as well as SAMs such as the Patriot. The weapon has a laser-triggered proximity fuse and an expanding rod warhead that can destroy variable-size targets. It can be used against cruise missiles and precision-guided munitions. First seen in 1992 at the Moscow Air Show 1992, the R-77 was immediately nicknamed AMRAAMsky by Western journalists. The basic R-77 is known as the ISDA-170, while the export variant is known as the ISDA-190, or RVV-AE. The R-77 and RVV-AE have a range of 80 kilometers. Vympel did not have adequate funding during the 1990s and the first part of the following decade to support further evolution of the R-77, either for the Russian Air Force or the export market. The basic version of the R-77 is not thought to have entered the Russian Air Force inventory in significant numbers. The R-77 can be used by upgraded Su-27, MiG-29 and MiG-31 variants in Russian Air Force service. Some variants of the Su-27 in China's People's Liberation Army Air Force, including the domestically produced J-11 variants, can also employ the missile. The newer Su-30 MKK has AN001 with a digital bypass channel incorporating a mode allowing it to use R-77s. The export RVV-AE has been sold widely, with China and India placing significant orders for the weapon, as was the case for the R-73. The baseline R-77 was designed in the 1980s, with development complete by around 1994. India was the first export customer for the export variant, known as the RVV-AE, with the final batch delivered in 2002. There are other variants under development. One has an upgraded motor to boost range at high altitudes to as much as 120 to 160 kilometers. It is known as the RVV-AE-PD. The PD stands for Povyshenoy Dalnosti, which in Russian means improved range. This variant has been test-fired and uses a solid-fuel ramjet engine. Its range puts it in the long-range class and is equivalent in range to the AIM-54 Phoenix. In another version of the R-77, a terminal infrared homing seeker is offered. This is in line with the Russian practice of attacking targets by firing pairs of missiles with different homing systems. This complicates endgame defensive actions for the target aircraft, as it needs to successfully defeat two homing systems. This method of attack may not always be available, as IR seekers typically have less range and less resistance to poor weather than radar seekers, which may limit the successful use of mixed seeker attacks unless the IR missile is initially directed by radar or some other means. Another improvement program was designated the R-77M, which made the missile longer and heavier, making use of a two-stage motor as well as an improved seeker. A further product improvement of the R-77, designated the R-77M1 and then the R-77PD, was to feature a ramjet propulsion device. This missile was destined for the MiG 1.44 that for the MFI program. The weapon has a laser fuse and an expanding rod warhead that can destroy the variable-size targets. However, due to funding shortage and eventual cancellation of the MiG 1.44, development of this model may have stopped by 1999. No information or announcement regarding the R-77M and R-77PD has appeared since. Further development. Tactical Missile Weapons Corporation, also known as TRV, unveiled the RVV-SD and RVV-MD missiles for the first time at the Moscow Air Show in August 2009. The RVV-SD is an improved version of the R-77, while the RVV-MD is a variant of the R-73. The RVV-SD includes the upgrades associated with the ISDA 170-1, or R-77-1. The RVV-SD, along with the RVV-MD, seem to be part of Russia's bid for India's medium multi-role combat aircraft competition. Both designations were included by MiG on a presentation covering MiG-35 Fulcrum armament during Aero India Air Show in February. The initial RVV-SD offering is likely no more than a stopgap to try to maintain its position, and to provide a credible radar-guided weapon to offer as part of fighter export packages and upgrade programs. According to specifications, the R-77-1 and its export variant RVV-SD is 15 kilograms heavier than the basic R-77 RVV-A, weighing 190 kilograms rather than 175 kilograms. Maximum range is increased to 110 km from 80 km. The missile is also slightly longer at 3.71 meters, rather than the 3.6 meters of the basic variant. Additional improvements include upgrades to the missile's radar seeker and boat tail rear section to reduce drag. Russian missile manufacturer It previously confirmed it was working on seeker upgrades for the R-77, implying that at least two projects were underway, one for export and one for the Russian Air Force. Vympel, which had merged to be part of TRV, has been developing a more extensive upgrade of the missile than the R-77-1. Designated the ISDA 180, or K-77M, this missile is a midlife upgrade for the weapon and is intended to be the main medium-range missile for the Sukhoi Pak-FA. This upgrade aims to provide a further improvement in range, with the design including a dual-pulse motor configuration. The ISDA 180 will use an active electronically scanned array seeker and conventional rear fins instead of the R-77's lattice fins. This missile is intended to match the performance of the latest AIM-120 variants, though it uses a similar designation as the earlier R-77M improvement program. It is not known if these two missiles are the same or are related. Design description. The aerodynamics are novel, combining vestigial cruciform wings with grid fins used as tail control surfaces. Each surface consists of a metal frame containing a blade-like grid assembly which combines a greater control area, and thus lifting force, with reduced weight and size. The development for this control concept took 3 years of theoretical work and testing. These surfaces require less powerful actuators than conventional fins. The flow separation, which occurs at high angles of attack, enhances its turning ability, giving the missile a maximum turn rate of up to 150 degrees per second. However, updated variants of the R-77, such as the ISDA 180 that is destined for the Pak-FA, will use conventional fins instead. The missile uses a multifunction Doppler monopulse active radar seeker developed by OAO-It. The radar features two modes of operation. Over short distances, the missile will launch in an active fire-and-forget mode. Over longer distances, the missile is controlled by an inertial guidance autopilot with occasional encoded data link updates from the launch aircraft's radar on changes in spatial position of the target. As the missile comes within 20 kilometers of its target, the missile switches to its active radar mode. The host radar system maintains computer target information in case the target breaks the missile's lock-on. Operational history. At the beginning of February 2016, 4 Su-35s were deployed to Syria as part of the Russian aerial expeditionary force to the country. Tasked with air-to-air duties, the Su-35s were extensively documented while armed with a couple of R-77 missiles, between IR-seeking R-270 under the inner pylons and R-74 under the outer ones. Variants: R-77 Standard Model, RVV-A Export Model of the R-77, R-77P RVV-P Passive Homing Model, R-770 RVV-T Infrared Homing Model, RVV-SD Export Model of the R-77-1, R-77-1 Improved Variant with Increased Range, R-77SRK Ship-to-Air Variant, R-77ZRK RVV-ZRK RVV-ZRK Surface-to-Air Variant, R-77PD RVV-AE.It Ramjet Model. Development stopped in 1999. R-77PD-ZRK RVV-ZRK RVV-ZRK Surface-to-Air Variant, K-77M Highly Improved Variant for the PAC-FA with AESA Seeker, conventional fins, and 2-pulse motor. K-77ME Ramjet Model of the K-77M. Operators. Current operators: Russia. Basic variant never officially introduced in series. R-77-1 variant spotted under Su-35s during the Syrian campaign. Algeria for Su-30MKA aircraft. People's Republic of China for Su-30MKK and Su-30MK2 aircraft. India for Su-30MKI, MiG-29 UPG and MiG-21 Bison aircraft. Indonesia for Su-30MK2 and Su-27 SKM aircraft. Malaysia 150 missiles delivered for Su-30MKM aircraft. Vietnam for Su-30MK2V aircraft. Peru, between 12 to 30 missiles delivered for MiG-29 Shea and MiG-29 SMP aircraft. Sudan for MiG-29 Shea aircraft, confirmed by a picture. Syria, Venezuela 100 missiles ordered for Su-30MK2 aircraft. Yemen 100 missiles delivered by 2005 for MiG-29 SMT aircraft.